So as you can see, dogs are allowed in the park. We just ask that you keep them on a leash that's 8 foot or less. And of course, when it's summertime, bring water for your pets so that they don't get thirsty. And bring water for yourself. I would recommend 1 bottle of water for every hour that you're going to be hiking, because you drink a lot more than you think, and there's nothing worse than getting dehydrated when you're way out here and not having water with you to get back.
Oh, dude.
So it's 83 degrees and sunny here today, but here where we are, look at that, Dan, that beautiful, beautiful rock and moss-covered walls. Another thing that's here are the ferns, and they're some of the oldest plants in the park. So this is a wonderful way to learn about the plants and wildlife that live here. Leaves of 3, however, if you don't know this, leaves of 3, let them be. Here's a columbine, wild columbine. So leaves of 3 means poison ivy, and that's the plant you don't want to touch. This is one of my favorite rocks in the whole park. Doesn't it have such character? I just love seeing, it's almost like this rock can talk. And I want to tell you that this is absolutely beautiful year-round. So if it's 20 degrees and sunny on a winter day, don't let that stop you from hiking. It's every bit as fun to come out here when it's snowy as when it's sunny.
I saw a bird.
She saw a bird. So school groups love coming here. If you're in charge of your field trips for your schools, you can call our activities department and we will set you up and take your whole school group on a guided hike. And we can also fix you up with box lunches. If you've never been to the Starved Rock State Park Visitor Center, that is an absolutely wonderful place to begin your tour here. There are 2 videos that are free and played on demand, and they tell you about the history of the Civilian Conservation Corps. In the 1930s, they made Starved Rock Lodge and a lot of the pathways that we walked on and shelters that are here. And the history of the Civilian Conservation Corps is something that's really worth learning about. It's an amazing time in American history, and they also built the Starved Rock Lodge, which is just an amazing structure on its own. So begin your tour at Starved Rock State Park Visitor Center and get oriented with the park and the rules of the park so that you can hike safely and enjoy your trip here. Okay, so we're going to go over this bridge, and hopefully just around the corner we'll be seeing Wildcat Canyon. I hear the birds chirping behind me, and I wish I were better at identifying what those birds are, but we have over 200 kinds here, like I said, and it's just an amazing thing to see. Orioles, those are orange birds. There's different kinds that you can see, and we have field guides that can teach you what kind of birds we have here. So as I was saying about the state tree, the oak, the state animal, white-tailed deer, state flower, violet. You could teach your children all of these things, but do you know the state snack? It's popcorn. So you might want to pack some of that into your backpack as well. I think a lot of people have the perception that getting from place to place here takes all day. But Edna, who helped me today, I really appreciate her help, hiked this path to make sure we could get you there in time, and she made it there and back in a very short period of time. So we're with you for 30 minutes, and we're going to do all this hiking in just 30 minutes time. So you can do it too. When you come here, if you're curious, the hike from the lodge to French Canyon and out to the top of Starved Rock is only an hour round trip. It's a wonderful hike to take with your family. You know, there's nothing like disconnecting from technology and connecting with Mother Nature during summer with your kids. Everybody's so connected to their cell phones. And we do have cell reception here from many points in the park. But it's a really neat way to relax and enjoy the great outdoors in summer. So bring your children and come on out and enjoy the beauty of this park. Now I see a yellow tree up here. I wonder if this is the one. Yep, see? This is where we can see where a beaver was active in the park. See right there, Dan? That little stump that's standing there alone, the handiwork of a beaver. But it's really neat as you stand here along the Illinois River, you can see where a beaver chewed away the bark on this tree too, Dan. Look at that. And at certain other points, they'll actually take a tree and cut it in half with their teeth. But as you stand here, you can see the view of the Illinois River for miles, and it's a stunning view. It's a beautiful day to be outside. And what's our question now?
Linda asked if there are boat rides you can take.
There are boat rides during the season. There's several different kinds of boats that you can go on. The Belle of the Rock, when it's in service, offers land and water cruises and dinner and evening cruises. The Spirit of Peoria is a paddle wheel boat that comes up here several times a year from Peoria. And then in LaSalle, there's an 1848 replica canal boat that takes you on a mule-pulled canal boat tour to teach you the importance of the history of water through the years and transporting goods and people over water. Okay, so now here's our first glimpse of Wildcat Canyon.
And we have another question
what's that?
Popped in.
Okay.
How many people each year travel to Starved Rock?
How many people each year travel to Starved Rock is the question. And the answer is over 2.3 million people per year think this place is worthy of a trip. And let me tell you, it is. It's amazing from beginning to end. I love working here. So here we are at Wildcat Canyon. You want to stop and listen and see if you can hear any water? I can hear some water, and we're going to go right in there and see what's happening. Okay, so now as we just turn that corner, you see the sign says Bluff Trail. So that's where we're going to go. And this time when we're going to Wildcat Canyon, we're coming in from the river trail when we just hooked up with the Bluff Trail so that we can avoid climbing upstairs whenever possible. You do have to do a few stairs, but it's not as bad as if we climbed a taller staircase. So as you can imagine, Starved Rock State Park is a wonderful place for photographers. Even if you just have your iPhone, it's a wonderful place to take pictures. And wait till we get around the corner and see Wildcat Canyon. One of the interesting parts about Wildcat Canyon is that in the winter, when the water freezes, you can ice climb here. Now you have to be a certified climber, and you do have to register with the park. But it's wonderful as a spectator sport just to come and watch people and their skill. Oh, I can hear the water. It's going to be great, Dan. As you descend into the canyon, the temperature drops about 10 degrees, so it's very cool and restful in here. I would say at this time there are like 30 people here enjoying the beauty of this natural wonder. And as I said, we have 18 canyons here. About 7 or 8 of them have potentially active waterfalls. What do you think of that, Dan?
Give them the view.
Wildcat Canyon. And what is really wonderful, let's go in a little bit more, Dan, so you can see. There are 2 overlooks from which you can view this canyon. One is on the left and one is on the right above us. It's about a 125-foot drop to get into Wildcat Canyon. Once again, I want to remind you that there's no swimming or wading or rock climbing in the park. Please follow the rules of the park when you're here. We want you to be safe at all times. Take a look at that. You just don't expect that in Illinois. But you know, because it's seasonal, we just want to tell you it's not like we can turn the waterfalls on with a switch either. So you have to pay attention to the Facebook page. If you like us on Facebook, we give you pictures of the waterfalls and the conditions in the park, if there's flooding or anything. There isn't right now, but it's a really good way to stay connected with us at Starved Rock Lodge and Starved Rock State Park.
Somebody's asking if there's any campsites nearby as well.
There are campsites here. The Starved Rock Campground is just a few miles away from the lodge itself, and you book your reservations there through reserveamerica.com, and we have several other campgrounds in the area. So yes, camping is very popular here. Yeah, one of the things we don't want to talk, or we don't want to show in the park is people climbing or swimming, because when you climb on these rocks, they're made out of sandstone and you can slip and fall and really get hurt. And as you can imagine, you saw how we hiked in here, how difficult it would be to get you safely out of here if you'd gotten hurt. So always observe safety at all times. Don't rock climb, don't swim. Just enjoy the beauty of the park, take pictures and share them with all your friends. And speaking of sharing, you know, we love sharing pictures of Starved Rock on Instagram, Twitter. We have a Snapchat filter, as well as on Facebook, of course. So please enjoy the beauty of all that's here at Starved Rock, and know that this is just one of several state parks here in LaSalle County. Matheson State Park is nearby, and you can check over there for Cascade Falls and Matheson Lake Falls. Buffalo Rock State Park is beautiful too, and Illini State Park. So if you come here to Starved Rock and traffic is an issue, check out the other wonderful attractions in LaSalle County. If you like historic homes, visit Hagler Karras Mansion or Reddick Mansion in Ottawa. We have wonderful gardens in Streeter at Weber House and Garden. So there are many wonderful things to do to actually have fun, and it's way more than a day trip if you come to Starved Rock area. Enjoy all that there is to do here.
You have a question. What type of wildlife should you expect to see when you visit?
There's an abundance of wildlife, from raccoons, fox, white-tailed deer, squirrels, rabbits, eagles, of course, and birds in flight. What do we have here? Snakes. We don't have any poisonous snakes in the park. People have asked us that before, and the reason we don't is because our rocks face north. They're cold and they're covered with moss, and snakes like hot and dry conditions. So be careful. They're out. You know, we do have snakes, but no poisonous snakes.
Next question is, do we have any primitive, secluded campsites available as well?
Well, the most primitive you would have would be at Hickory Hollow Campground, and those are available through the LaSalle County Visitor Guide. So check out enjoylasallecounty.com, and that will take you to all the campgrounds in the area. There are push pins on a new map that we created, so you can find different kinds of lodging. We have cabins at Starved Rock Lodge. We have Kishwa cabins. We have hotel rooms, of course, and then camping. Yes. So once again, I hope you enjoyed this tour of Starved Rock State Park. It is one of the true gems of Illinois, and if you've never been here, please come, and if you've been here before, please come back. We'd love to see you again. And please share your photos and video with us, and then we'll share it with other people. If you want to share the video that we're making today, we're going to be sharing a link to it, so that you can share it with your friends from all over the world and encourage them to come and see this one-of-a-kind destination in Starved Rock in LaSalle County. Just absolutely beautiful.
And we still have 3 minutes left if anybody wants to ask any questions.
Okay. Well, a lot of times people ask me, what are my favorite things to see and do in the park? And I think that if you were going to come here on a day trip, what you should think about is the high and the low. And that's why we chose to do this with you today. Wherever you go, you've got to walk to the top of Starved Rock. Due to our time limits today, we did not walk to the top of Starved Rock. But what you want to remember about that is there's a boardwalk that's a circular boardwalk on top of Starved Rock. And so you can get a 360-degree view of the entire area and really get your bearings for the area on top of Starved Rock. And then, once you've seen the bluff views, the amazing Illinois River Valley around you, you can hike down low into the canyons, which is where we are now, and see this flora and fauna and waterfalls and birds that live down in here. And it's just such a really different look and feel and temperature than what you'd see up on top when you're on top of Starved Rock. So I encourage you to come out and experience all of this. It's really closer than you think. We're less than 2 hours from Chicago, just 90 minutes from Joliet area. So come on out and explore all there is to see here. It's just a really neat place.
If you had 3 canyons to take somebody to, what canyons would they be?
Well, you know, we're in LaSalle County, so the number one choice is LaSalle Canyon. It's a box canyon. That means it's long and slender. Wonderful photography, and you can walk behind the waterfall, but stay on the marked trails at all times. Another one is this one, Wildcat. It's the deepest drop in the park, about 125 feet. And then the quintessential canyon to me is St. Louis, because it blends the most wonderful look at the waterfall, the canyon, the boulders, the ferns. So it's a nice combination of both. It's a standalone canyon on the west side of the park. Yeah.
And we're going to wait to see if we have any other questions. I mean, what's your favorite time of year to check out the canyon?
Well, you know what, I have to say I like the spring when they first come back to life, because you know, we've been in the Illinois inside all winter long, and when that first canyon starts greening up and water starts flowing, that's my favorite time of year to get out there. But don't mistake it. I love to go out in the winter. I love to see it in the fall. And in the middle of summer, when we're lucky enough to have water, we have waterfalls.
All right, Kathy, I think that's all of our time for today. We would like to thank you so much.
Thank you very much for joining us. I hope that I get to do this again. Join me on July 1st when we tour Starved Rock Lodge and see all that there is to see at another great place in Illinois.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.